Oh, I hope it's the right number. Oh, they're not in.
Hello?
Hello, Sunflower Bean.
Yes, hi, this is Julia. I am the only one on the call today. I hope that's okay.
Well, some say you're the best one, so I don't know if I agree. We'll find out after the call, I guess.
We will find out.
Where do I find you and the crew today? Whereabouts are you?
I am upstairs in a very gorgeous Leeds. Lots of wetness and dampness, but it's a very familiar and comforting sight. We were just in Thailand and it was like 100 degrees Fahrenheit, so the cold is a bit welcomed.
That's nice. I'm glad that we've put on weather that suits your needs then, now that you've come to the UK. So.
I'm sure you don't hear that very often.
Yeah, please for the rain. That's an interesting one. But yeah, it's very polite of you. King of Dudes, the 4-track EP comes out on the 25th of January 2019. Its lead single, Come For Me, is currently my favourite track right now. It has been for maybe about 2 weeks. And I'm trying to play it so much now that it makes it into my top tunes of 2018 on Spotify.
Wow.
That's how hard I'm thrashing it. I want it to feature there.
Love that we snuck in there.
I hope so.
Great.
You're probably amongst like Wolf Alice and Dua Lipa on my like most played list. But who have you been most like thrashing in 2018?
Oh my gosh, I've been listening to. Do you know Yves Tumor?
No, I'm not familiar.
He's very good. He's from the US and really kind of interesting stuff. I like the Mia Folic record a lot, and she's on tour with us. I think it's always a challenge, and sometimes I welcome silence into my life so I can like think, because music is just is luckily very constant all the time in what we do, but yeah, I'll say Yves Tumor and Mia Folic.
So when you're in the studio like putting a record or even an EP together, in between sort of getting the instruments tuned up and working out bits, is there silence? Because I guess the rooms that you sit in are soundproof, so is it quiet sometimes?
Yeah, well, I think silence is really, really important in the context of music, and also to give you the moments to actually think about what you're doing. And especially with King of the Dudes, we made it this summer. Very, I wouldn't say it was rushed, but it was definitely a passion project. And we were moving in between tours, going to LA and doing this thing. And I think when in that case you need every moment of silence that you can get to understand who you are and what you're doing.
I think the single, and it's a good thing. I think the single "Come For Me," it goes a bit Shania Twain-y in a few places.
Ooh, I'll take that.
There's definitely some country vibes in there. But then I heard you. I was listening to your Neil Young cover yesterday as well, and I was like, okay, yeah, this sort of fits. There's country vibes to Sunflower Bean.
There are, and I think that's on 22 and Blue a lot, and I think that's cool. There's a couple of songs I was running around with that everyone's like, ooh, it's a bit like Sheryl Crow, and I was like, oh crap, I don't want that. So let's not do that. But no, I think Sunflower Bean has always been kind of an experiment in the even like the modern way that we experience taste, like even the way you're saying on Spotify and whatever, is that you're really allowed to pull from so many places. And luckily, because we're independent artists, we're able to explore all these parts of ourselves kind of without the pressure of anyone telling us what we have to do next. So I think that's pretty great.
Do you have a chat when you start the band? Guys, I think we should go in this direction, or we should go for this vibe. Or do you just sort of jam along and let it kind of happen? Because the other two were in a band and you sort of joined in. So did you have a chat about how you'd sound, or did it just come out through rehearsals and playing?
Well, in the beginning of the band, I don't, I think that we were going a lot on instinct, and we were all so young, um, and really, I think dedicated to being musicians on a whole, and that when we were able to get together and really connect, it felt like it really made sense, and we weren't overthinking it, and we were just kind of part of the DIY scene in New York and doing what felt right. I think particularly on 22 and Blue, we went in with a different kind of intention than on Human Ceremony, and definitely with Come From Me, a different intention than 22 and Blue, but kind of growing on 22 and Blue. So I think now as we get older, and we're kind of in better control of our artistic reins, if that makes sense. So we are more considered with the work we're making than in the beginning, which was just like, it was just so cool to be loud and to be with people that understood you, you know?
I think so. You saying that you're getting older and you're so very young that's the one that's confused me. But that's like your
Well,
description of you.
I don't mean older in the sense of old. I understand all too well that 22 is still like ridiculously young, and I know that even in a couple years, I'm sure the things that I say now um, will sound silly. But I joined my first band when I was 13 and have had the same dream and the same intention for like 9 years now, that I was doing all through school. So it feels, in the context of music, it feels refreshing, and it feels good for me to feel like we know what we're doing, more so than just knowing, rather, that I wanted to be a musician. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Kind of maturing, refining, and just improving through experience.
Mm-hmm.
But in your band previous to this, Super Cute, you were like quite pally with Kate Nash back in the day.
Yes, she actually took me on my first European tour when I went to my first day of high school, and then we flew to Europe to do this tour. And right now, Sunflower Bean is doing our first ever like tour bus tour. So I'm currently on a bus for the first time since Kate took me on a bus when I was 14.
How does that feel now that it's your thing? This is you.
It's really intense. It's really amazing. I think when I was 14 with Kate, I had this and on that tour, I had this feeling that I was like, oh no, I'm 14 and I'm doing the coolest thing I'm ever going to do in my life. And now the rest of my life is going to suck because I'm on a tour bus and I'm in Europe, and like, how could anything ever get any better? And I feel, nothing in the in the creative world is guaranteed. So I think to be here and to have done this ourselves does really feel like an accomplishment. But back to Kate, yeah, I saw her at Reading and Leeds this summer. My first time seeing one of her shows in a while, and like, I cried, and I'm so proud of her and I love her so much. She's been such I can't even measure how much she's affected my life.
That's amazing to hear you say, because since we launched in 2012, Kate Nash has been, we've supported her records, and she's been really supportive for us, and she's always given us interviews, and through her and her connections, we've just, it's taken our station, Hoxton Radio, to kind of just different places, and that's all through Kate Nash. And I still catch up with her as often as I can, and that Reading show was amazing because I was there as well, and she was just phenomenal. And we'd interviewed her before, and she said she always gets nervous at festivals, and there was not a nervous character on stage at all. It was just an immense performance.
Yeah, she's, I think, just a really, really incredible character, and even for me shaped what the idea of what a show could be, and what a tour should be, and even how one should really handle themselves in the arts, and not being afraid to wear your feelings and your passions on your sleeve, and just really not being afraid. I think she was always such a strong figure for me, and I'm so like excited for all the different things she's been able to do now, especially on Glow. And just she's such a creative person. It's nice to see the world seeing her in that way as well.
I think people are going to be saying similar things about you in years to come, Julia. So, yeah, get ready to be hearing these words said about or back to you. I saw you in Reading as well. I saw you on the same stage as Kate that weekend. How has the live show adapted or changed since then?
Well, we have a touring member with us now. His name is Danny. He was in the Lemon Twigs, and he has his own project now. And he's just kind of like he's just insane. He's a really insane player, and it's a big honor to play with him. So we've been rearranging and working, the songs with him, and have like different 3-part harmonies and amazing stuff. So I'm really happy with the set right now. I'm like happier than I think I've ever been with it ever.
That's nice to hear you say. That's good. We're heading here to London this week. We're welcoming you to play at Earth, which is a brand new venue for me in East London. I think it might even have been a snooker hall back in the day, so you might get to play some pool afterwards, maybe.
Yes, I've heard that, and I'm excited. I get you get nervous with new venues. Hope the sound system is good and whatnot. But London shows are pretty incredible, so I'm excited.
Nice one. Well, thank you very much for talking to Hoxton Radio today.
No, thank you, and we'll see you at Earth.
Yeah, definitely. You take care. Enjoy the rest of the tour.
You too. Thanks.
Thanks, Julia. Bye-bye.